Hello, students. Welcome to yet another lecture on what it is like to be a transgender by Lee Mokobe. So, this is the final lecture for your general English paper. So, let us see who Lee Mokobe is and what is this poem all about. So, Lee Mokobe, I'll also recommend you to look at the introductory part of the poetry. Is a 20-year-old South African slam poet and co-founder of Vocal Revolutionaries. So Vocal Revolutionary is a NGO which works in South Africa to empower youth to help them find their voice through poetry and art. They offer free workshops, motivational talks, seasonal slams, national local performances and mentoring. And Lee Mokobe is not just active through this NGO. Through his poetry also, he tackles tough social issues like justice and issues of LGBTQ community. And he has performed across 3 continents, and he was the youngest and first African coach at the Brave New Voices Festival, which he won in 2015. Mokobe is a trans man. He's a transgender male, and he was born in Cape Town in South Africa. It was in 2015 he came out as a transgender male. Now he works as a teaching artist across USA. So he's very politically active. He criticized the lack of freedom of expression in South Africa, and one of his poetry, The Not Yet Burning Country, it's against the extreme right-wing politics of Donald Trump. So I already told you that Lee Mokobe is a slam poet. And what is slam poetry? Slam poetry is a part of performance poetry. Performance poetry is the genre of poetry which is more oral in nature. You have seen written poetries which are written and then recited. In performance poetry, the oral part has more emphasis. So, slam poem is also called spoken word poetry. It is usually written after it is orally recited or after it is spoken. Usually, this speaking performances are live events, demonstrations, or competitions. And in these live events, these poets are given awarded points. They are rated on stage as competitions. So they are live performances. So I've already told you that he's a winner of Brave New Voices Festival. And Lee Mokobe's slam poetry is known to have convincing expression about the discomfort concerning on living with his assigned gender. So, Lee Mokobe, I already told you, he's a trans man. Lee Mokobe is a transgender. So, you know what a transgender is? The person who is born with one particular sex, but he identifies with other gender. പെൺകുട്ടിയായിട്ട് ജനിച്ചിട്ട് ബിഹേവിയറും ഐഡൻറ്റിറ്റിയും ഒക്കെ ആൺകുട്ടികളുടേത് പോലെ ആവുക, അതാണ് ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡർ. അപ്പോൾ അവർക്ക് തന്നെ തോന്നുക ദേ ആർ മെൻ trapped in a female body, or the other way around, they are women trapped in male bodies. So this is his identity. Lee Mokobe was born as a girl, and in 2015 he declared that I am a boy or man. So here I wanted to discuss with you one particular mental condition called, or psychological condition called, gender dysphoria. So this is a stress that happens to people who feel that they are living in a wrong body. assigned to a wrong gender identity. It's a very difficult phase, and most transgender people go through this. They'll have inner conflict, and they desire to be the opposite gender. അപ്പോൾ എൻ്റെ ഐഡൻറ്റിറ്റി ഒരു ട്രാപ്ഡായ അവസ്ഥയാണ്. ഫീമെയിൽ ബോഡി ആയിരിക്കും, പക്ഷേ മെയിൽ കോൺഷ്യസ്നെസ് ആയിരിക്കും. അപ്പോൾ ഇതെല്ലാം എനിക്ക് ഐ എം ഹാവിങ് എ റോങ് ബോഡി. സെൽഫും ബോഡിയും തമ്മിലൊരു കണക്റ്റ് ഇല്ലാതിരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു സ്ട്രെസ് കണ്ടീഷനാണ് ജെൻഡർ ഡിസ്ഫോറിയ. ഐ തോട്ട് ഈ പോയം ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യുന്ന സമയത്ത് യു ഹാവ് ടു നോ ദിസ് സ്ട്രെസ് that these people undergo. And on top of this, we as a society, we incriminate them, we criticize them, we insult them, and we make their condition even worse. So society has a kind of transphobia attitude towards these people. So what it's like to be a transgender is a soul-bearing poem which addresses the gender identity. Gender identity ആണ് ഈ പോയത്തിലെ മെയിൻ കൺസേൺ. And the context of the poem is transphobia. What do you mean by transphobia? Phobia is a fear. The fear for transgender people. The hatred the society show towards them. And because of this transphobia and social hostility, most of the transphobia people with transgender people, they commit suicide because they are not able to cope up with the society. So ഈ രണ്ട് കോണ്ടെക്സ്റ്റിലാണ് ഈ പോയം എഴുതിയിട്ടുള്ളത്. And also this poem is autobiographical. It's a description of how he came out as a transgender. It captures identity crisis. And towards the end of the poem, it's very pessimistic. It has a lot of negative attitude. Mukobe recognizes that society will never accept them. So let's look at the poem. The first time I uttered a prayer, I was in a glass-stained cathedral. I was kneeling long after the congregation was on its feet. Dip both hands into holy water, trace the Trinity across my chest, my tiny body drooping like a question mark all over the wooden pew. So this was the first incident when he resorted to religion to find a resolution of his identity crisis. So he says that first time I was in a glass-stained cathedral. Cathedral is a church. So the congregation was on its feet. Congregation means group of people who are who goes to a religious place for worship. That's a congregation. And then all the people are on their feet. You know that in Christian church, people kneel down to pray. They all others have risen. They are all standing, but Lee is still kneeling. He wants answers to his question. He wants safety of the church. Now Lee is dipping both hands in holy water and making a cross on his body, and his tiny body is like a question mark all over the wooden pew. Pew is the church bench. You know the church benches, wooden benches. So this is a very good imagery here. You can take it on two levels. The body is bending to dip his hand in the holy water, so it looks like a question mark. On a metaphorical level, his life is a question mark. He is not able to identify, he is not able to come out with his real identity. He is forced to follow the assigned gender. So his whole existence becomes a question mark. The question is who I am, whether I'm a girl or a boy. This identity crisis he is facing, that is represented through the question mark. അപ്പോൾ ആദ്യമായിട്ട് ലീ മെക്കോബെ പറയുന്നത്, ഞാൻ ആദ്യമായിട്ട് ഈ പ്രോബ്ലം റിസോൾവ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട് ഐ വാസ് ഇൻ ചർച്ച്. ഞാൻ പ്രേ ചെയ്യായിരുന്നു. റിലീജിയനിലാണ് സോളസ് കണ്ടെത്താൻ ശ്രമിക്കുന്നത്. കോൺഗ്രിഗേഷനിൽ എല്ലാവരും എണീറ്റ് പോയിട്ട് I was still kneeling down. ഞാൻ വളരെ ഭക്തിയോടെ ഹോളി വാട്ടറിൽ കൈമുക്കി ഐ വാസ് മേക്കിംഗ് എ ക്രോസ്. ആൻഡ് മൈ ബോഡി ഒരു ചോദ്യചിഹ്നം പോലെയായി. എൻ്റെ ശരീരം തന്നെ ഒരു ചോദ്യചിഹ്നമായിരുന്നു. I asked Jesus to fix me, and when he did not answer, I befriended silence in the hope that my sin would burn and salt my mouth would dissolve like sugar on tongue, but shame lingered as an aftertaste. Now he is asking Jesus to fix him. Why fix? Because uh, we fix things when they are broken. So these people face kind of a broken identity. They want to be whole again. They want to have peaceful life like every other person. Society treat them as abnormal. They also find it hard to resolve this identity crisis because they are also born and brought up in the society which believes in only in two genders, to categorize genders, and this third gender of being in between a man and a woman. That's a very difficult position. So he asks Jesus for answers, but Jesus is silent. So Macabe also befriends silence. He becomes an introvert. He recludes into himself. He's hoping that my sins will burn and dissolve. So now his identity has become a sin for him. So sin is something we commit a wrong deed. Okay, sin is something we act upon. So something that we cannot control, something that is given cannot be a sin, but still society treats the transgender identity as a sin. So the idea of this sin is burning him. He thinks that if he pray enough, his sins will burn and salve my mouth with dissolve like sugar on tongue. Salve is an ointment used to promote healing or the skin or as protection. A medicine to heal. So it will salve my mouth. It will heal my mouth. It's also can be taken on a Christian theological sense of salvation. Salvation means you are getting absolved. You're preserved from harm. You're preserved from ruin. Or you're delivered from sin and its consequence. You're delivered from your uh, wrong deeds. That's salvation. Then he says that it will salve my mouth and it will dissolve like sugar. Like sugar dissolves in your mouth, my problem will dissolve. But it did not. Shame lingered as an after taste. So after you have food, the taste of the food will linger in your mouth, will remain in your mouth after, even after a long time you have some food. In the same way, the shame of being a transgender is lingering with my identity. Even though I want to resolve, I want to be fixed, I want to dissolve my sin. സോ പള്ളിയിൽ വെച്ചിട്ട് ജീസസിൻ്റെ അടുത്ത് എന്നെ ഫിക്സ് ചെയ്യാനാണ് പ്രാർത്ഥിക്കുന്നത്. ഫിക്സ് ചെയ്യാന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ പൊട്ടിയതാണ് നമ്മൾ ഫിക്സ് ചെയ്യുക. അപ്പോൾ അവരുടെ ഐഡൻറ്റിറ്റി തന്നെ ഫ്രാഗ്മെൻറ്റഡ് ആണ്. ഐഡൻറ്റിറ്റി തന്നെ പൊട്ടിക്കിടക്കുകയാണ്. ബോഡി ഫീമെയിലിൻ്റെതാണ്, ഐഡൻറ്റിറ്റി ജെൻഡർ മനസ്സിൽ ഫീൽ ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഐ എം എ മാൻ എന്നാണ്. സോ ഈ ഒരു പ്രോബ്ലം, സോ ഇത് ജന്മനാ ഉള്ളതാണ്. സോ സൊസൈറ്റിയിൽ നിന്ന് എന്താ മനസ്സിലാക്കുന്നത്, ഇത് എൻ്റെ തകരാറാണ്. സോ ഇതെൻ്റെ ഐഡൻറ്റിറ്റി ആണെന്നല്ല അയാൾ മനസ്സിലാക്കുന്നത്, ഇതെൻ്റെ തകരാറാണ്. സോ ഐ വോണ്ട് ടു ബി ഫിക്സ്ഡ്. പിന്നെ അതിനൊരു പാപമായിട്ടാണ് കാണുന്നത്. എല്ലാവരും അതിനെ പാപമായിട്ട് കാണുന്നത്, സ്വയവും അങ്ങനെ തന്നെ മനസ്സിലാക്കുന്നത്. സോ ജൂസസിൻ്റെ അടുത്ത് ഉത്തരം കിട്ടാത്തതുകൊണ്ട് ഹി ഗെറ്റ്സ് മൗനമാവുകയാണ്. ഇത് സോൾവ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുമായിരിക്കും എന്നുള്ള പ്രതീക്ഷയുണ്ട്, പക്ഷെ അത് സോൾവ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല. Another thing you have to remember is during Holy Mass in church they provide bread and wine. ഈ അപ്പവും വീഞ്ഞും കൊടുക്കുമല്ലോ, പള്ളിയിൽ അപ്പം കൊടുക്കില്ല, and that dissolves in mouth. This food imagery is also brought here. ആ അപ്പവും വീഞ്ഞും കൊടുക്കുന്നത് പാപമുക്തി അങ്ങനത്തെ ഒരു റിലീജിയസ് സാൽവേഷൻ ഐഡിയയുമായിട്ട് ബന്ധപ്പെട്ടിട്ടാണ്. സോ യേശുവിൻ്റെ ഫ്ലഷ് ആൻഡ് ബ്ലഡ് ആയിട്ടാണത് ക്രിസ്ത്യൻ തിയോളജിയിൽ കണക്കാക്കുക. സോ ഹിയർ മെക്കോബി ആ ഒരു ഇമേജറി എടുത്തിട്ടാണ് അപ്പം അലിഞ്ഞു പോയി പാപം കഴുകി കളയുന്നത് പോലെ എൻ്റെ പാപവും കഴുകി കളയപ്പെടും എന്നാണ് ഞാൻ കരുതിയത്. പക്ഷേ ഇറ്റ് ഡിഡ് നോട്ട്. ദ ഷെയിം ലിങ്കേർഡ്. I couldn't erase my transgender identity using religion. So I have lost my inner peace. I have lost my sanctity. So to reintroduce me to sanctity, my mother told me of the miracle I was. Said I could grow up to be anything I want. I decided to be a boy. The sanctity has a meaning of being something holy, something sacred, something saintly, something of importance. So and it can also be taken as an inner peace. So this person has lost his inner peace. He's undergoing a condition of stress. The mother is being supportive and she's helping to reintroduce her child back to sanctity. It can be taken on two levels. It can be taken as a helping hand. Also, the mother is trying to bring this girl back to the face of an adolescent girl rather than this transgender stress. To solve her problem, her mother told that you are a miracle and you can be anything. And her mother is pointing towards the fact, towards something that mother wants this person to come back to her girl identity, feminine identity. You can, even if you feel like man, you are a miracle and you can be anything. So be a girl. But Lee Makobe, since he took the message that you are a miracle and you can be anything, he decided to be a boy. Now this is now comes the imagery of a tomboyish face. It was cute. I had snapback, toothless grin. I played hide and seek with what was left of my goal. I was it. The winner to a game the other kids couldn't play. I was the mystery of an anatomy. A question asked but not answered. Try dropping between awkward boy and apologetic girl, and when I turned 12, the boy face wasn't deemed cute anymore. So being tomboy is considered as a cute face for girls. The girls who act like boys and who are very bold and behave like boys till during their growing up phase, when they're still very young, it's considered very cute and people usually appreciate it. But afterwards, when you grow into your teenage and early adulthood, society wants you to conform, and people being tomboy will not be allowed anymore. They will be asked to be like a girl, be a woman, conform to feminine identity. This issue will come to every woman. So since this child decided to be a boy, he went into a boy phase. He started behaving like a boy, dressing like a boy, and then he had a snapback. Snapback is a baseball hat. You might be knowing baseball hats, right? So this is the picture I took so that you can get an idea of what they are referring to. Snapback ഈ plastic ഫിക്സ് ഇതിനെ പറയാം, ഈ അഡ്ജസ്റ്റബിൾ സാധനമുള്ള ഹാറ്റാണ് സ്നാപ്ബാക്ക്. So he was wearing a boyish hat and then he had toothless grin in that face that your പല്ലൊക്കെ പോകുന്ന പ്രായം. So he in that age that he is behaving like a boy. He used skin knees as street cred. Skin knees means you have bruises on your knees because you're always outside, you're always playing, you're jumping walls, you are climbing trees and all. You have bruises on your knees, and this boy, the girl who is mentally believing that he is a boy, he is taking as a credit. So I have these many bruises, I am so adventurous, I am so bold. That's the idea here. And I was playing hide and seek with what was left of my goal. My goal means my identity as a man. So I was playing hide and seek with that. Being at this very young age, being a tomboy, behaving like a boy was accepted. So society would accept that this girl is a tomboy, and this for this girl he is a boy. Okay, so there is a play of hide and seek or ഒളിച്ചുകളിയൻ. I was it, the winner to a game the other kid couldn't play. So it's like a game. You can be a boy and you can be a girl too. So other kids couldn't play, I was a winner at it. You can also take another meaning of it, that Lee McCoby, for others he was a girl, and being a girl he could win at games the girls couldn't even participate. So he became a mystery, he became a question mark, and there was no answer. He was a tight-roping between awkward boy and apologetic girl. Tight-roping means you're walking on it's a very difficult path. It's a very risky path. Awkward is a kind of embarrassing situation. So a weird boy and a apologetic girl. A girl who is always being showing the regretful, regretting that I'm behaving like this. So ഈ രണ്ട് ഫേസിൻ്റെ ഇടയിൽ ടൈറ്റ് റോപ്പ് ചെയ്തിട്ടാണ് till 12 he lived. സോ ടോം ബോയ്സ് ഫേസിലേക്ക് പോവാണ്. ബോയ്സിനെ പോലെ തൊപ്പിയൊക്കെ വെച്ച് ബോയ്സിനെ പോലെ ഡ്രസ്സ് ചെയ്ത് പല്ലൊക്കെ കൊഴിയുന്ന ആ ചെറിയ പ്രായം. പിന്നെ കല്ല് മുട്ടിലൊക്കെ ആകെ പൊട്ടി തൊലിയൊക്കെ പോയിട്ടുണ്ട്. അതൊക്കെ ക്രെഡിറ്റാണ്. കുന്നുമ്മ കയറിയതിൻ്റെയും മരത്ത് കയറിയതിൻ്റെ ഒക്കെ ക്രെഡിറ്റാണ്. ആൻഡ് ഹി വാസ് പ്ലേയിങ് കളിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ് ഐഡൻറ്റിറ്റിയുമായിട്ട്. ആൻഡ് ഹി ബിക്കെയിം എ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ മാർക്ക്. എല്ലാവർക്കും ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ മാർക്കാണ്. ഈ പെൺകുട്ടിയായിട്ട് എന്താ ആൺകുട്ടികളെ പോലെ പെരുമാറുന്നത്. ബട്ട് ഇറ്റ് വാസ് സ്റ്റിൽ അക്സെപ്റ്റഡ് ബിക്കോസ് ഹി വാസ് വെരി യങ്. Then he turned 12. The boy face wasn't deemed cute anymore. അപ്പോൾ boy face cute അല്ലാതായി. He turned 12. It was met with nostalgic aunts who missed seeing my knees in the shadows of skirt, who reminded me that my kind of attitude would never bring a husband home, that I exist for heterosexual marriage and childbearing. I swallowed their insults along with their slurs. So then came the family pressure on the boy to behave like a girl. So they wanted him to dress in skirts like girl, but he is dressing like a boy. And they are telling him that your attitude will not bring a husband, that no man will be interested in a girl like you who is very behaving like a boy. So usually in family the first thing a girl get to listen to is, you are a girl, behave like a girl, show feminine behaviors. You have to get a man to get married. So always a woman is considered only for existing for heterosexual marriage and giving birth to a child. So Lee McCoby's body is a feminine body, but his mind is a male mind. So it came as insults and slurs from aunts. They were not just advising him, they were insulting him. A slur is also insulting, continually talking about the same thing. And Lee was a very introverted child. He did not answer back. He swallowed all the insult and kept quiet. From home itself, from his immediate space of comfort itself, he is getting a lot of complaints and accusation, because of which he feels that there is something fundamentally wrong with him. So he keeps his identity to himself and don't come, and he's not ready to come out. He's not ready to tell anybody that he is different from others. Naturally, I did not come out of the closet. The kids at my school opened it without my permission, called me by a name I did not recognize, said lesbian. But I was more boy than girl, more Ken than Barbie. Here, and now he at school also he's keeping quiet, he's not telling anybody, but others are barging into his identity. Even if they keep quiet, we go behind them, we poke them, we insult them, and we try to find out facts about them. This usually happens. And they called him by a name which did not define him. They call him lesbian. Why would they call him a lesbian? Because he was a girl for others, and in the adolescent phase you always have an attraction for the opposite sex, but for Lee, he's a boy, so his attraction is towards girls. And what the society sees, that a girl is being attracted to girl, and they have only one answer for that, and that is being lesbian. But this doesn't define Lee's condition. And he's saying that I am more boy than girl. I am a Ken doll, not a Barbie doll. And in in these lines he's saying, it had nothing to do with hating my body. I just love it enough to let it go. I treat it like a house, and when your house is falling apart, you do not evacuate. You make it comfortable enough to house all your insides. You make it pretty enough to invite guests over. You make the floorboards strong enough to stand on. So, because ഇപ്പോൾ ഈ മെക്കോബി എന്താ പറയുന്നത്, ഐ ഹാവ് എ മെയിൽ ഐഡൻറ്റിറ്റി ആൻഡ് എ ഫീമെയിൽ ബോഡി, ബട്ട് ദാറ്റ് ഡസൻറ്റ് മീൻ ദാറ്റ് ഐ ഹേറ്റ് മൈ ഫീമെയിൽ ബോഡി. ഐ ലവ് ഇറ്റ് ഇനഫ് ടു ലെറ്റ് ഇറ്റ് ഗോ. എനിക്ക് അത് പോയിക്കോട്ടെ, അങ്ങനെ ആയിക്കോട്ടെ എന്ന് വിചാരിക്കാൻ മാത്രം ഐ ലൈക്ക് ഇറ്റ്. ആൻഡ് ഹീ ഈസ് ബ്രിങ്ങിങ് ദ എക്സാമ്പിൾ ഓഫ് എ ഹൗസ്. ഹിയർ ബോഡി ഈസ് കമ്പയർഡ് ടു എ ഹൗസ്. So it is also it's a comparison usually you find in philosophical poetry, where mind is the person residing inside and body is the house. So if your house is falling apart, if your house is breaking, you won't just leave the house and go away. You try to fix it. You try to renew it. You may try to make it beautiful and comfortable and good enough for guests to visit. I'm doing the same thing with my body. I don't hate my body. Now he is bringing here his fears through the image of mother who is also trapped in the situation. She is not able to accept him here as a for her mother. She's a girl, accept him as a girl, and he's also fearing for the life of her beloved child. My mother fears I have named myself after fading thing. What do you mean by fading thing? Fading thing is something that will vanish, something that will decay. His mother is worried for him. He is fearing that he'll go unrecognized. He'll be nothing. He'll be like, and now she's counting the echoes left behind by Mia Hall, Leela Alcon, and Blake Brockington. So she's counting all the miserable things that happened to other transgender kids, other transgender young people who have met with tragedy. She's counting on them, and she's fearing that same fate will happen to her child also. So Mia Hall I think she was killed. I'll tell you now. Yeah, she was killed, and because she was a transgender. Then Leela Alcorn is a transgender activist and committed suicide to bring attention to the problems of these people, these transgender people. So Mia Hall was killed by the police, by the NSA, for being a transgender, and it had made quite an uproar in USA then when she was killed. And Leela Alcorn died with a suicide note saying, "Fix society, please. Please mend the society." That was her message. He committed suicide to bring uh, attention to the miserable plight of the transgender people. And then we have Blake Brockington. Blake Brockington also committed suicide because of his identity. He was an advocate of sexual minority. So these are the three people his mother is counting on. They some of them died, some of them were killed. Died in the sense some of them committed suicide. And Lee's mother fears that he will also die without a whisper, without nobody knowing, because of the tortures of the society. He'll also die, or even if he doesn't die, he'll turn into a what a shame conversation. He will turn into a topic for gossip at the bus stops. And she claims that he has become a mausoleum, that he's a walking casket. The mother is fearing for the life of her child. Mausoleum means it's like a tomb where you keep the dead body. He so for for the immense torture Lee is facing, his mother is feeling that he's a walking dead body. Newspapers has turned the identity of transgender into a spectacle. They become news items, and people very curiously read them. And people usually take the name of Bruce Jenner, but nobody will know the brutality of living in this body. So Bruce Jenner is an American television personality and an old Olympic medal winning decathlete. In 2015, he came out as a transgender and he became a woman. Now the new name is Caitlyn Jenner. He was earlier a Olympic gold medalist. Now he's a woman. So that is a celebrity changing his identity. So everybody knows Bruce Jenner. Whenever issues of transgender comes up, people take up this name, but they only take this name. They don't understand the suffering, the brutal condition of living in a wrong body, and society also wronged them. There are a lot of equality pages. You find a lot of web pages talking about equality. They'll talk about big things, but in reality they don't do much, and they just become an asterisk at the bottom of equality pages. What do you mean when asterisk? Asterisk is the small star you find in advertisement also, and in all you find big sales and offers, and finally they'll put a small asterisk and write terms and conditions apply. So that is asterisk. So you will get relegated to the bottom. People will talk about you, but they will do nothing for you. You just relegate into bottom as a small asterisk. Then this is a direct cry, a direct expression of the anger and frustration no one ever think of us as human. This is the reality. Society don't even consider these people as human. And the reason he says is that we are more ghost than flesh. For them, we are only ghost. We don't exist. And people fear that my gender My gender expression is a trick. They don't understand what I'm going through. They feel that I'm just trying to trick them, and I'm tricking them to 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 have a perversions, sexual perversion, maybe obscenity. I am an obscene thing for them. They don't understand me, that it ensnares them without their consent. They fear for their life. They think that I will trap them without their consent. I will trap them. They have prejudices and bias and misunderstanding about me, and they, based on these prejudices and biases, they torture me for their curious eyes. My body is a feast. For their eyes and hands. So since they are very different, people always have a curiosity to know them more. And once they are fed up of my pure identity, they'll regurgitate all the parts they do not like. So Lee McCoby is here talking about how people will read about them, how people will talk about them, how people will look at them when they are walking around in the roads, how they will manhandle them. ഈ ആൾക്കാരെ കുറിച്ച് വായിക്കാൻ എല്ലാവർക്കും ഭയങ്കര ക്യൂരിയോസിറ്റിയാണ്. അവരെ കാണുമ്പോൾ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു പ്രത്യേക നോട്ടം നോക്കും. ചിലപ്പോൾ അവരെ പെരുമാറ്റം ഇഷ്ടമായില്ലെങ്കിൽ ആൾക്കാർ കയറി തല്ലും. സോ മൈ ബോഡി ഈസ് എ ഫീസ് ഫോർ ദിയർ ഐസ് ആൻഡ് ഹാൻഡ്സ്. പിന്നെ അവർക്ക് മതിയായാലോ, when they get fed up of the identity, they'll regurgitate all the parts they do not like. Regurgitate is, it's like vomiting. You bring up the when you, after having food, if you bring the food outside of your mouth, that's regurgitating. ആദ്യം പത്രത്തിലൊക്കെ ഉള്ളത് മുഴുവൻ വിഴുങ്ങി 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 എന്താ, അതൊരു ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡർ ഐഡൻറ്റിറ്റി ഒരു പുതിയ കാര്യം അല്ലാണ്ടായപ്പോൾ യു ഡോണ്ട് ലൈക്ക് ഇറ്റ്, യു വോമിറ്റ് ഇറ്റ് ഔട്ട്, അതിനെ മുഴുവൻ കളഞ്ഞു. Then you will place me back in the closet, hang me with all other skeletons. You'll hang me with all other tragedy, and I'll be the best attraction. So in news items, when you get a new and different thing, you will have an attraction for it. അപ്പോൾ ഇതേപോലെ ട്രാൻസ്ജെൻഡേഴ്സ് എന്നൊക്കെ പറയുമ്പോൾ ടി വിയിലൊക്കെ കാണുമ്പോൾ ഭയങ്കര, ന്യൂസ് പേപ്പറിലൊക്കെ കാണുമ്പോൾ ഭയങ്കര ക്യൂരിയോസിറ്റിയാണ്. അവരെ പറ്റി വായിച്ച് കുറേ ന്യൂസ് ആകുമ്പോൾ പിന്നെ അത് നോക്കാണ്ടെയാവും. ഓർ ദ ഡെത്ത് ഓഫ് പീപ്പിൾ ഡിസ്ക്രൈബ്ഡ് ഇൻ ദ പ്രീവിയസ് ലൈൻസ്. അമ്മയുടെ ഫിയറിൽ പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുള്ള കുറച്ച് ആൾക്കാരുടെ ഡെത്ത്, അതൊക്കെ ഒരു വൺ ടൈം ന്യൂസ് അട്രാക്ഷൻ ആയിരിക്കും. 2 ദിവസം കഴിയുമ്പോൾ ആ ന്യൂസ് ഐറ്റത്തിനെ പറ്റി ആരും ചിന്തിക്കൂല. സോ they are like skeletons and relegated back in the closet. Now this is the final set of lines, and Lee is addressing his audience directly. Can you see how easy it is to talk people into coffins, to misspell their names on gravestones? Now he's asking the audience, did you understand how it is easy to make people commit suicide or misunderstand them, or misrepresent them? So you can do you do a lot of wrong things to people who are different, people who are queer, people who are transgender like me, and still you sit and wonder why these boys are rotting. Why do they run away from high school hallways? Why do kids elope? Why do kids run away? You wonder what is happening to the youth, and you incriminate them, you torture them, you hurt them, you drive to the point that these people go and commit suicide. And what do? And you still sit and wonder what is happening to these people. And now Lee is then telling what is the real fear of these youngsters. They are afraid of becoming another hashtag in a second. So you have all these Twitter campaigns and all, where various issues are brought to limelight using hashtags, and finally after many days they only remain as virtual hashtags. Nothing is done nothing worthwhile is done. So these people have an identity. These people are persons like us. These people are human beings. They don't want to negotiate with their privacy. So they don't want to become another hashtag that circulates on the internet. They don't want to be discussed in the classroom debates. And when transgender issues are being discussed in class, people make a lot of comment and it feels like a judgment day. And now oncoming traffic is embracing more transgender children than parents. This traffic can be taken in two sense. Traffic is the general traffic, where people travel from one place to another. Maybe more children are running away because of these issues. Or you can take the internet traffic, where uh, they become center of attraction. A lot of people talk about them. You find Facebook posts, WhatsApp status, Twitter hashtags, and for them, against them, about them, but nothing worthwhile is done for their benefit. Society is always transphobic, and they uh, never accept these people into the mainstream. So this poetry ends in a very pessimistic note. So this poetry was recited on TED. I think you are familiar with TED talk shows. Lee McCobbey is also a TED fellow, so I strongly recommend you to go and listen to his TED video, and you can understand what the pain he is expressing through this line. With this poem, our portions are completed. So this module had three chapters. One was the talk given by Adrian Rich. Then we did a story on by Kate Chopin in classroom, story of an hour, and this is the third one. All three of them will together give you an idea of injustice on the basis of gender, how sexual minorities and women are being subjected to a lot of tortures and difficult situation because of the mainstream notions and ideas, patriarchal viewpoints. So this is the third point, and you should go and read about Lee McCobbey, and also read the original poetry from your textbook and study them. Thank you.